What up, is Marcus Dynasty Fun Dads? I have Jackson here. We are going for a walk. So, again, this is all due to memory here. We're going to be doing NFL suspended players. Where are they in Dynasty rankings? And where are they upcoming in the 2022 season as well? We're going to start off with Deshaun Watson. I feel like he is the hardest one to gauge because we don't have a for sure suspension. We have a likely suspension. We have a he could play all of the 2022 season. He could never play a snap in his entire career again, which makes him very difficult to own and to trade for and to trade away. Like, I have him, and I value him as a top 10 quarterback because really he's a top 5 quarterback when he's on the field. And since he's a top 5 quarterback when he's on the field, you still have to hold out that he would potentially be good to go in the 2022 season at some point, in the 2023 season, 2024 season. Like, he's young enough where if he misses another season, it's going to be a little interesting because he wouldn't have played football now for 2 years. So that, again, is another difficult measure. Suspended players are always very difficult to gauge, and Deshaun Watson is the toughest one, but I have him still as a top 10 quarterback. But if you don't want to have him on your team or your roster because of what he has done, personally wise, hi Jackson. What are you doing back there? Hi, we're just going for a walk. Don't do that. Don't jump off though. We might have to do the rest of this inside because he wants to jump out of the wagon. So that's where I have Deshaun Watson. In Superflex, he's still worth multiple first-round picks, probably 3 first-round picks. I mean, he's a top 10 quarterback, but if you can trade him for Trevor Lawrence plus, if you can trade him for Zach Wilson plus 2 firsts, if you can trade him plus something for Dak Prescott, those are the trades that I'm making right now. I think those are the trades that need to be done for Deshaun Watson. The next one we're going to do is a guy that has his suspension already kind of crystal clear. It is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is one of the biggest values right now. Just making sure my son's not falling off the wagon. He's one of the biggest values right now, being drafted as late 30s, sometimes wide receiver 40 in Dynasty, but a guy that I still see at some points this year, next year, maybe even in the following year. I could see him having a lot of wide receiver 1 weeks, wide receiver 2 weeks. Those are hard to come by, and especially with the wide receiver 40 draft capital, I am taking him in lots of different situations, and there are some questions to be posed if he had tainted stuff. And 6 games is his worst. It's going to be the worst. And when he comes back, he's going to be healthy. He was banged up last year, and I think you're going to see him be the number 1 threat to Kyler Murray, right? Whoa, motorcycle. He's like, whoa. He's going to be the number 1 target to Kyler Murray. And so with that being said, he's still not even 30 yet, so he's not hit the cliff. He's younger. I mean, you look at Adam Thielen. We're talking about Adam Thielen being a buy. We're talking about even a lot of other players that have been past that age of 30 that have been buys for another year or two. And heck, you even look at players like T.Y. Hilton, who I think are much less talented than DeAndre Hopkins, and yet T.Y. Hilton had really good weeks, even though that he was banged up. He was the primary target on an offense that continues to put up points and stuff, and I truly believe that DeAndre Hopkins is one of the biggest buys. Now for Mr. Alvin Kamara, who's going to turn 27 soon. He's one of my biggest sells because I believe he's still, drafted running back 10. I have some big concerns about him. He's being drafted ahead of the likes of Nick Chubb and J.K. Dobbins and Travis Etienne, but there's some big questions and concerns. He's a guy that's going to have to hit a wall at some point, and he's being drafted a lot higher than Ezekiel Elliott, which is younger than him. And Zeke has shown some injury-prone issues. Tony Pollard's in the wing. The Saints don't necessarily have anybody in the wing, but I think their offense is not going to be good. Jameis Winston's still very questionable if he can actually be a successful A, quarterback, and B, if he can actually be healthy with his recovering from his horrible knee injury. And then you have Chris Olave, who is a good young wide receiver. Michael Thomas, I will believe it when I see him actually perform on the field, because he has not been on the field in some time now, and he is getting older. I mean, we were talking about DeAndre Hopkins' age. He's getting older. How you doing, there, buddy? You're just smiling away. Jackson, say hi. So at this point, Alvin Kamara, maybe RB like 15, but again, a lot lower in my opinion than I would say the consensus, or at least majority of people on Alvin Kamara. And he could be suspended. I mean, we don't know officially if he will be, but it could be 3 games, it could be 6 games. That's why he's on the list of suspended players. Definitely a big question and concern with Alvin Kamara, because it could, if it's 6 games, I mean, you're talking about 6 games of his age 27 season. The end could be very near. I mean, we're talking about this could be the last year, and you would only get a half a year for that. The last player we're going to talk about is Mr. Betting himself, Calvin Ridley. If you want me to add any other players to this list, just let me know next time. But Calvin Ridley, getting distracted here by all the stuff outside. Calvin Ridley suspended for the entire 2022 season, which puts him at 2023 season. Puts him back into it unless he does something dumb again. And he kind of retired-ish on personal reasons. I'm not giving much for Calvin Ridley. They drafted Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts, the last basically 2 picks, basically saying, we don't need you, Calvin Ridley. If you're back, you're back. I think Drake London will be the alpha in that offense, even with Calvin Ridley coming back. Calvin Ridley is a third round rookie pick is what I'm taking him, or I'm getting him for. That's what I would give. I actually saw him go for that, and I was like, man, that 3rd round pick could have been something too, because Calvin Ridley could be something when he gets back. He is extremely talented. At least he was a couple of years ago, fantasy-wise, production-wise. But the offense is completely different. He's getting closer to that age where we start to see that drop-off. And you got to wait an entire year of non-production and hope he comes back to Atlanta or comes back to the NFL in general. He could just say, you know what, I'm not coming back, guys. I'm going to leave due to personal reasons again, which we don't know. So Calvin Ridley, I would say, is a huge stay away. First, again, 2 rounds of a rookie draft, I really have a hard time trading a pick away for Calvin Ridley. Somebody, again, that I'm not going to be able to see production-wise. And he's going down the hill. He's not going to be maybe increasing value. I mean, if I'm a huge rebuilding team, I'll send a flyer of a player to see if I can get Calvin Ridley. All right, that's my NFL suspended players. I'm gonna see if Jackson wants to say hi to you guys. Jackson, say hi. Say hi. Say I like going on walks. What? What are you doing? Let me know what content you want me to produce here in the next couple of days. We're going to continue on with... I got some ideas. So, all right. This is Marcus Dynasty with Dads. Thanks for this outside video today. It's July 5th. So, I want to do an outside video. We want to go for a walk. I'm just running out of time. Time is flying by today. And the Wolves, I'm a big Minnesota fan. Wolves made a big trade over the weekend, Rudy Gobert. And so I've been doing a lot of basketball research, which is not necessarily an excuse. It's just sometimes you get distracted by a signing a trade that is probably the biggest trade that the Timberwolves have ever done. So I've been doing a lot of, not nitpicking, but researching and seeing what the reactions are of that. And I have taken a little breather off of football for the last 2 days. 3 days maybe now. But I'm back, so we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace out. Take care, everybody.